Hey seedlings, I know it's been a while and I want to apologize for that. I was having a hard time with school, but now that summer's back, I'm going to be posting back on my regular schedule. Thank you so much for your patience with it. Thank you so much. I also wanted to let you know that I got a new mic, so I hope it's good. Today we are going to be reading Friendly Rivalry. It'll be chapter 8. The ignoring finished up by Bakugo, cornering him after school with 4 other lackeys. Izuku, who'd just gotten out of detention for the 10th time this week. 4 lunch, 2 before school, and 4 others after school. The teachers were going overboard. Was mostly defenseless. His backpack had mysteriously gained a hole in it sometime yesterday, so he had been carrying the few papers and books he needed around himself. So he was mostly defenseless if he didn't want to preserve the few papers he did have that hadn't yet been destroyed. The teachers had been feeling vindictive these 2 weeks, and Izuku suspected they were just waiting for another slip-up, like what happened with the pencil. So he did his best not to give them one, keeping his head down and doing his work, and avoiding thinking about Senbon and pressure points. So here he was anyway, cornered, and without his usual weapons pouch, and no pencils, since someone had stepped on them and broken them all, probably with some quirk use. Now that Izuku thought about it, that had probably been on purpose, intentionally making sure he couldn't use them as unintentional weapons like he had 2 weeks ago. Since Izuku left the holster in his backpack, not willing to actually carry around weapons in plain sight, he had nothing on him. Or did he? Well, he definitely didn't, but maybe he could borrow something off the others. Zen did show him the basics of pickpocketing a week or so ago. Bakugo was finishing up his rant, it looked like. Something about how he shouldn't overstep his place in the world, and he was just a useless Deku. Izuku didn't really pay attention. "You should be grateful you're even alive," Bakugo shouted, apparently culminating his rant by running forward in an attempt to blow Izuku's face up. Izuku, too conditioned towards dodging everything, ducked under him, snuck a hand in and out of Bakugo's backpack pocket, and came up with 4 pencils. Plenty for his purpose. 1 per person, and he could always pick them back up. Okay, that one had wings, so a good place to hit would be right between them to paralyze both of them. Then he had a finger quirk, so 2 shoulder hits should take him out nicely. Same for Bakugo and explosions. And he didn't actually know the last guy, so if it was safest to hit the pressure point for knocking him the frick out. 1 pencil for the wing guys, 2 for fingers. Scoop back up 1 for the finger guy while he threw one of Bakugo's, then throw the other. Pick up the other pencil like he was going to throw it at the 4th guy, then duck him in the face. In Izuku's defense, it was the easiest way to knock him out quickly and cleanly. With that finished, Izuku dropped the stolen pencils and booked it, running away from the 3 panicking bullies and 1 unconscious one. He was so gonna get expelled for this. It wasn't one of his volunteer days, but he appeared there enough on his off days that he was pretty much acknowledged as a regular around the home. Honestly, the last time Izuku had gone home right after school was like 2 months ago. So, Izuku, Tenki greeted politely as Izuku entered, still clutching his books to his chest and breathing slightly heavy. Did something happen? Now that Izuku had a chance to slow down and breathe, it all caught up. He burst into tears. I hit Kachan and 2 others, and now they'll really hate me. And I punched one, except he's out cold, and the school's going to expel me, and the teachers will hate me, and I'll never get into UA, and never be a hero, because I had to leave the only school Mom could afford, and... I'm gonna cut you off there, kid, Tenki said calmly, handing him a tissue that came from who knows where. Izuku sniffled, using the tissue to blow his nose and wipe off his face a bit. Tenki handed him a whole pack and the nearby garbage can. Once Izuku had calmed down and stopped crying, Tenki waited a moment longer, then asked, "What happened?" "I got cornered by Kachan and 3 other people after detention after school and hit Kachan and 2 others with borrowed pencils to eliminate their quirks from the equation, and then punched the 4th guy to knock him out because I didn't know his quirk. Then I ran to here." "Good job," Tenki praised easily. "You assessed the threat, dealt with it, and escaped. You did well." Izuku should have expected this reaction, but was still caught off guard. "Ooh, did the squirt actually fight someone?" Zen asked, coming into the room. "Nice, good job, kid." "I didn't want to," Izuku protested. "They were going to beat me up." "Kid, what did you think being a hero involved?" Tenki asked amusedly. "It means beating up villains." "I know, but they're kids, and I'm a kid," Izuku said, looking down. "Shouldn't have to deal with this yet. We're just kids." Zen sniffled dramatically. "Our little Izuku is growing up. He's learning that this is unfair and shouldn't be happening." "That's a good thing to realize," Tenki said softly. "You're all just children, and in the end, Bakugo is a child that was taught very wrong. Really, both of you were taught wrong. He was taught that there were no consequences to his actions. You were taught that you were lesser, and everything you did was wrong. Both of you are incorrect, and both are unhealthy. What really ought to happen is that he doesn't get into UA. Unfortunately, I don't think that'll happen. So what you can do is when you both hit UA, tell the teachers. They'll listen and understand. Bakugo is a child that needs a reality check." Zen considered it for a moment. "And therapy. Mostly therapy." "Both of you need therapy," Tenki scoffed. "But we're doing the best we can in the meantime while we wait for any repercussions. Why don't we talk about something I've been considering bringing up for a while?" What is it?" Izuku ventured, still reeling a bit from their reactions. "Homeschooling." "Or nursing homeschooling," Zen disagreed. "But yeah, close enough. I've been alive long enough to collect at least 1 teaching degree and go through several courses for various subjects. I believe I could teach you better than the school is. You are a brilliant young man, and I believe it could only benefit you to spend more time here instead of at your home or your current school. I'd have to ask my mom, But what would I tell her? I just tell her you're my friends, not anything about this being a job at a nursing home. I didn't want to say since she's so happy I have friends now. Izuku chewed anxiously on his lip. Then, say your friends are part of a homeschool group they invited you to join, Zen suggested, grinning somewhat cheekily. She wouldn't have to do anything since we already have all the teachers we need. And we could, get her one of our home numbers as a pretend contact and go from there. An actually good suggestion, Tenki remarked dryly. Amazing. Zen gasped over dramatically. How could you? Sarcasm? In this house? Izuku sniggered at them. Maybe it'll be okay. So, Bakugo got suspended for a week with nothing on his permanent record. And Izuku got expelled for causing undue trouble and being a trouble in class and having bad classwork. His mom was, as expected, very concerned about this. But Izuku reassured her with the homeschooling lie and gave her Tenki's phone number. They had collectively decided Tenki was the most adultiest adult among them, and so he would be the primary teacher for the imaginary homeschool group. The other pretend teachers of the school were Danbo, Hiki, Ningyami, Kurai, and Denjuro. Izuku was not at all surprised that most of the teachers were female. Everybody else got to be the pretend students. Kuro wasn't particularly pleased about that, but Izuku pointed out that if he said he and Mukhusi got in another fight, it'd be more believable with students than teachers. Kuro had to agree with the flawless logic. So, Izuku transitioned seamlessly to spending a good 85% of his time at the home, generally only coming home for dinner, sleeping, and breakfast. He liked this better, honestly, and it was way more fun than school, and he was learning so much more.